So back in the day, luxury SUVs and crossovers really weren't that popular, but it was the Lexus RX that really pioneered the segment and quickly became one of the most popular vehicles on the road. It now has a ton of competition, but it continues to be one of the best-selling options. This now is the 2023 Lexus RX, and right away, I want to know what your first impressions are, so let me know in the comment section. My name is Omar, and Lexus has just dropped the 5th generation of the RX. It gets a whole new exterior, a whole new interior, a bunch of new tech, and a few new powertrains, so let's check it out. By the way, I'm sitting in a new studio that I'm building out. It looks a little bland right now because we just started building it out. There will be some artwork to spaz it up a little bit, make it look nicer. But here is where I'm going to talk about new vehicle debuts, some car news, and some other car-related stuff that I want to talk to you guys about, so welcome. Let's start off inside. Actually, let's talk about getting in and out first. So the door handle action is very similar to the one we saw on the Lexus NX. It's the whole non-mechanical E-latch thing, so it'll be an electronic release. I'm not sure how I personally feel about this. I prefer traditional door handles, but Lexus did this with a more thought out reason. Apparently the door won't open if it senses another car or a bike coming from behind you. I live in the suburbs, so it doesn't really matter to me. I don't have that problem. Either way, once you get inside, you'll notice that the interior is very similar to the Lexus NX, and that was to be expected. The overall layout is very similar as well, but in the RX it just feels roomier and more spacious. The RX has always had an insanely comfortable interior. It really is one of the best interiors in this segment in terms of quality and comfort. I haven't driven the new RX yet, obviously, but I'm guessing it'll have the same smooth ride quality as the current model does. Now, let's get into talking about the tech. All 2023 RX models now come standard with a 14-inch touchscreen display. This is the same screen that we saw in the Lexus NX, and over there I remember saying that it was a little too big for the tiny NX. This is obviously an option in the NX. The NX had a smaller one, but over here it's just the right size. I'm glad the bigger option is standard across the lineup and they didn't, go for a smaller screen on the lower level trims of the RX. So this screen houses the new Toyota and Lexus infotainment system that we've seen on the new Tundra, the new Sequoia, the new Lexus LX, and the NX. You'll get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto as standard across the lineup. Navigation is a subscription-based service, which I don't like because I already pay enough subscription services in my life, but I get it. Most people will end up using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto anyway. I personally end up using Apple CarPlay unless I'm reviewing a car and I really need to test out the native infotainment system. Google Maps and Apple CarPlay is where it's at for me. I know a lot of you prefer Waze, but I'm not a Waze fan. I like Google Maps. Let me know which one you like in the comments below. Other than that, you have a digital instrument cluster display, again, which is going to be very similar to the one we saw on the NX and the new LX. Lexus and Toyota haven't really gone crazy with, making the digital gauge cluster display a little bit spicy. They don't do a full screen map view or anything like that. They don't really do any crazy animations. I would love to see something like that in the future, but for now, this is pretty basic. Now, like most other Toyota and Lexus models, you get all the driver assist tech as standard, including adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert. All those assists that you need assistance with are standard. What will be optional is a heads-up display, which I'm guessing is going to be really, really big like they are on current Lexus models, and you'll have the optional 360 view camera. And for the first time, the Lexus RX will actually park itself, parallel park and back in and out of his spot as part of a new tech called Advanced Park. That will be optional, obviously. All right, so let's talk comfort for the inside. The new RX is based on the new GAK platform, so this is not the GAF platform that underpins the trucks like the LX and the Land Cruiser. This one here is actually the same platform that underpins the NX, the new Toyota Highlander, and the RAV4, and it also underpins the Lexus ES. Lexus can really stretch this platform out in a million different ways. Here, this is 2.3 inches longer than the outgoing RX, and it actually sits a little bit lower. And since it's longer, Lexus says that you'll have more legroom for the rear passengers, you'll have more distance between the front passengers, you don't want to smell their breath, and you'll have more cargo space with a lower loading height, so it'll be easier to put things in and out of the cargo area. So that checks all the boxes of an update that we would expect. You have more legroom in the back, you have more cargo space, and Lexus says that the interior will continue to be very comfortable and very quiet and even more refined than the current model. All right, so let's talk about the outside. Lexus's design Lexus's, is that how you say it? Or Lexus's exterior design is very controversial. The current RX was really starting to age. I've been waiting for a new RX for quite some time, and it's finally here. What do I think? Now, I've always loved the RX, but I gotta be honest, I never thought it was the best looking option in the segment. It kind of looked a little bland. So for 2023, you have a totally updated look that still has the overall RX silhouette. Starting from the front end, you have a redesign to the signature spindle grille. It's still pretty big like it is on most Lexus models, but not as big as the one we saw on the new LX. The LX grille is comically huge. The car just feels like a giant driving grille. You still have the stylish Lexus triple beam lyrical dream headlamps, which I've always loved, and I love how Lexus differentiates their headlamps on each model. Not every Lexus looks the same from the front end, and all the headlamps have their own unique design. Now, from the side, the RX looks very similar to the current gen. You still have that floating roof design thing that you have in the current RX, and if you look at this from a side profile, you really won't be able to tell the difference between the current model and the 2023. But when you swing around the back, that's where you'll notice a lot of the new design elements for the RX. You have a giant LED barred taillight, which every other brand under the sun is doing nowadays. You had this on the NX, and now it's here on the RX. But if you look closely, you have a really cool design cue right here at the end of the taillights, and you have this giant Lexus lettering, which is their new way of badging the back. I'm not mad at it. They've gotten rid of the Lexus logo, and the Lexus lettering looks much more elegant to me. But yeah, overall, I think this is a pretty solid redesign. Was I expecting more? Maybe just a little bit more, but you know, this is not bad. This is a great way to keep things going. You see, it's really hard redesigning a very popular vehicle and bringing it into a new generation. You don't want to piss off the current fan base that you have, but you also don't want to keep it looking the same. And I think Lexus really found the balance between both in the new RX. Now, all that said, the GAK platform allows the new RX to be 198 pounds lighter than the outgoing one, so it has lost some weight. Lexus says that they have also increased rigidity and made the ride even more comfortable, so we'll see what that's all about when I get to drive this. And in terms of trims, the 2023 RX will be offered in 6, including Standard, Premium, a new Premium Plus trim, Luxury, F-Sport handling, and another new trim called F-Sport Performance, which we'll talk about in a few seconds. Now let's talk about the powertrains for a second. You have 4 new or redesigned choices to pick from, 3 of them which will be electric, none of them which will be a V6, and go ahead, let it out in the comments. Here comes a storm. I know you guys are probably really gonna go crazy for that. All right, so let's talk about the specs. So first you have the RX 350. That will be available in either front wheel drive or all wheel drive and an 8-speed automatic transmission. It'll get a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine making 275 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. So that's about 20 less horses than the outgoing one. But since the new RX is lighter and all that, it'll do 0 to 60 in the 7.2 to 7.5 second range. The outgoing RX 350 did it in like 7.7 to 7.9 seconds, so this is quicker. Next up, you have the RX 350H. That will take a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine along with an updated hybrid system. It'll only be available with all-wheel drive and a CVT transmission, and it will make 246 horsepower and 233 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 for that will come in around 7.4 seconds, and it should get 33 miles per gallon combined. And then you have the Lexus RX 450H Plus, which will be a plug-in hybrid model. Lexus has not released details of that just yet, so when it comes out, I'll let you know what it consists of. I don't know how many miles it will do on a full charge, but I'm guessing it might be between 30 to 40 miles. All right, now for the big dog, the Lexus RX 500H F-Sport Performance. This will be really the fastest RX ever. It takes a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbo, a 6-speed automatic transmission, an inverter, and an electric motor. It has an e-axle rear unit that throws in a high output electric motor along with a more advanced torque vectoring all-wheel drive system that Lexus calls Direct 4 all-wheel drive. Working all together, this system makes a total of 367 horsepower. Honestly, I was expecting this to be like 330 or 340, but 367 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 will come in under 6 seconds at 5.9 seconds. So yeah, this is the fastest RX that I remember. And Lexus says that the RX 500H also features opposed 6-piston brake calipers, so it should have some stopping power. It's not just all performance, it has some stopping power. I'm guessing they've updated the suspension a little bit. But this is not a true Lexus RX-F. I would love to see Lexus do an RX-F. That would be really cool. And that's really it. This is the new Lexus RX. That's all the info that we have for now. It'll go on sale at the end of this year. Pricing wise, I expect it to remain pretty much the same as the current model, which starts right under $50,000. By the way, I'm out in Texas right now at a Toyota event where they're showing us a bunch of new vehicles that are coming out. I recorded this previously before going to Texas because I got all the embargoed information. So I'm going to overlay this with a bunch of footage from the actual debut on May 31st. So you're watching this kind of in the past. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace. And let me know what you think about this setup. Should I do something like this more often, or should I just shut up and drive and do car reviews? Let me know.